Thank you very much. That was In-young Lee, the Minister of Unification of Korea. The second special talk is by Haecheol Chun, a member of the National Assembly of Korea. And the title of the special talk is Legislative Support and Efforts for Turning DMZ into a Peace Zone.
This is a PLZ Peace and Life Zone Forum 2020. This is joined by Gangwon-do Province Governor Choi Moon-soon and UNRISD Director Paulette and Executive Director Kang Keum-sil, Earth for People, and distinguished guests. Great to see you all. I am Jeon Haecheol, lawmaker of the Democratic Party. We are here to set out the agenda in the fields of peace, environment, and development of Borderlands, and to share our knowledge and experiences. And I think it is very meaningful and honorable for me to be able to tell you about the peaceful use of DMZ at this forum. According to the Armistice Agreement, the DMZ is a military buffer zone of 2 kilometers each to the north and south from the military demarcation line. DMZ belongs to our territory. However, under the Armistice Agreement, it is a special zone as the south side is under the jurisdiction of UNC, while the north side under the North Korean military. DMZ serves as an indicator that clearly shows the history of the Korean Peninsula and the current status of inter-Korean relations, and not only in terms of security and military, but also ecology, environment, history, and culture. It possesses a variety of values and potential, having possibility to play a central role of peace and economy. Just a few years ago, tensions over the Korean Peninsula reached its peak, and a dark cloud of war overwhelmed. However, the Moon Jae-in administration, under the catchphrase of permanent peace building and co-prosperity of the Korean Peninsula, appealed to the international community to resolve the issue through dialogue. As a result, there was a summit meeting between President Moon and North Korean leader Kim Jong-un in Panmunjom in April 2018, and they adopted the Panmunjom Declaration for the complete denuclearization of the Korean Peninsula and establishment of a permanent peace regime. At the same time, in the Panmunjom Declaration, the two leaders agreed on making DMZ a peace zone. By demilitarizing DMZ and the Joint Security Zone, it can turn the DMZ, a symbol of division, confrontation, and conflict, into a symbol of peace. Subsequently, the South and North prepared the specific implementation measures in Pyongyang Joint Declaration, as shown in the withdrawal of surveillance posts and demilitarization of JSA. Both took military measures to realize the purposes of the Armistice Agreement for the first time since it was signed. Where the GP disappeared, DMZ Peace Road was built, and a total of 15,000 people visited to feel the peace before it was suspended by African swine flu. Distinguished guests, Korea is technically still in a state of war. The first step towards solving the Korean Peninsula problem is to end the old armistice and bring a complete end to the world. In this regard, the practical military measures through the Panmunjom Declaration and efforts to expand the peaceful use are of great significance. Now, we must go beyond creating war-free Korean Peninsula and cooperate for lasting peace and common prosperity. And as a starting point of a peace region building by two Koreas, the DMZ Peace Zone has a great symbolic meaning through the peace-building process on the Korean Peninsula. It is also a process to create an order for peace and cooperation in Northeastern Asia. The DMZ not only becomes a symbol of peace between North and South Korea, but is also common heritage of mankind that the whole world should share. President Moon Jae-in delivered the keynote speech at the UN General Assembly in 2019. He announced the concept of DMZ International Peace Zone, which is another expression of his strong will to make the DMZ a space where military conflict is permanently impossible by making peace settled and to spread the peace around the world. Due to the current crisis of inter-Korean relations and COVID-19, it is very unfortunate not to make a smooth follow-up for this. However, the Korean government is pursuing all the out activities step by step. From May 2020, it has started to survey the DMZ to be listed as a UNESCO World Heritage Site and is expected to be conducted until next May. And related organizations such as the Cultural Heritage Administration and Ministry of Environment and Forest Service will investigate the actual conditions of the DMZ from various perspectives of history, culture, and environment, and use them for the DMZ Peaceful Use Project. As such, the necessity and efforts for peaceful use of the DMZ continue, but it is also true that there are concerns about damage to the natural environment due to the unplanned development of the DMZ. So it is necessary to establish the standards and principles necessary to preserve and use the DMZ peacefully, while preserving the natural environment of the DMZ as much as possible. It is desirable to allow projects and activities to strengthen peace on the Korean Peninsula, joint prosperity between the two Koreas, and cooperation between the inter-Korean borders through certain procedures. In this regard, based on the trials and errors on the DMZ, the agreements between the two Koreas and international recognition, it's time to form a framework to support efforts to transform the DMZ into a peace zone. So we need to have the framework as soon as possible. And for this to happen, agreements between the two Koreas and consultations with international organizations are of necessary, but it is equally necessary to legislate the system to support these efforts domestically. By doing so, we can spread a clear goal of making DMZ as a peace zone with the public and North Korea and the international community. By making it clear, South and North Korea agree and propose the international community, we can build the trust. And by doing so, we can bring development to the areas whose development has lagged behind. In the 21st National Assembly, I representatively proposed the Act on Conservation of the Demilitarized Zone and Support for the Peaceful Use of the DMZ, with the hope that the enactment of the law will systemically preserve the DMZ and contribute to the establishment of peace on the Korean Peninsula. Distinguished guests, South and North Korea are suffering a painful history and division due to the war. We are one family and one ethnicity. And that legislation will give us a chance to think about the environment and history and the cultural heritage of the DMZ. We also, that will be a great platform to bring peace to the Korean Peninsula. I sincerely look forward to your continuous support for that. Thank you.
Official talks. I think that just about wraps up the opening session. Thank you for staying with us.